All right, folks, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's time we get rolling. I appreciate y'all being here. Bear with me one moment. Sharon, I've made you the co-host. As you know, if you can keep people rolling on in, and we'll get this baby started. We are live on the YouTube channel. So some of you may be hearing this on YouTube. Come over to daczoom.com so that you can ask questions at the end of this. All right. We've got a lot to cover. And Sharon, you've got the room, right? Admitting everyone as they come in. Thank you very much. We can just stay on top of that so people don't want to miss any minutes. Hey, we want to be here on time. Let's get rolling. It is that time. I want to share some screens with you. There's some stuff that's important that we go through. So bear with me one moment while I pull up the right page. Okay, here we are. You can all see this, building a successful team. Do you see that on the screen? Can someone give me a thumbs up? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, listen, we are really excited about, where we're at, this place and time. And you're going to see a lot of emphasis and focus on helping you to duplicate a successful team, not just a team, but a successful team. That is our goal. Sharon, are you seeing these people coming in? Because they're sitting on my screen for quite a while saying admit. So if we can get them admitted, I don't want to have any interruptions, but at the same time, I don't want people to be missing out. So please make sure we're on top of admitting everyone that comes in. You see that? Okay, thank you. All right. So you're going to see a focus and an emphasis on duplication. And you're also going to see a lot less time invested in people that aren't willing to go to work, right, doing this. We're looking for people, as we've said the last few days, and you're going to hear a lot, willing, coachable, and hungry. Those items, willing, coachable, and hungry, are going to be critical for you to make the role with us. It does not matter anything from the past. It does not matter whether you've been a top producer in other companies. In my career in network marketing since 1991, most of our top producers were not financially successful when they got here. They were just hungrier than others. And they learned the system and they were coachable and they duplicated the system. Anyone could come from any background and own a McDonald's and succeed with it if they're hungry enough to show up every day and follow the system, right? Willing to follow the system, coachable to the system to learn it, and hungry to show up every day and run it, right? That's how easy this business is as well. So we're putting an emphasis on expansion. We're putting an emphasis on performance. We're putting an emphasis on duplication. Those three things. This is a recruiting training. This is not a customer or client acquisition training. Client acquisition trainings would be all about our beliefs about serving clients, how we approach clients, all that. It's a separate training. This training here is all about business building, expansion. All right. So why do we even want to recruit? Why do we want to recruit? Well, you've heard us talking about sorting. I'm sorry. I gotta back out of this a minute. Bear with me 1 minute. These slides were just created. And so I want to make sure I got, okay. Bear with me 1 moment, folks. Bear with me. There's a couple slides. Well, I guess I'm not going to have them on slide. I'll just tell you. Okay. So why do we want to recruit? Real simple. You're looking to build an independent business. So there's something called being self-employed and there's something called business owner, right? Self-employed is when you're doing it all yourself. You're basically having a job that you own your work hours, right? You decide when you work, but in the end, if you don't work, you're still trading time for money. Because of our residual income, yeah, you could create great income for yourself residually, but that takes time, right? So why we recruit is to move from self-employed to business owner. Business owner comes when you have an income producing asset called a productive team, right? Productive team. So that's what we're looking to do, is move you from dependent on a daily performance level to independent of performing daily, because you've already got a business that's performing every single month, right? When your business is performing, and that only happens by building a massive customer base with income stream residually, or by having a team that's productive. So why we recruit is to attract that team. Why we recruit is to attract people that want to be performers. Why we recruit is to identify people to duplicate. Recruiting is like, if you're a McDonald's corporation, having someone buy a franchise. It helps distribute more product for you. It's someone else you can duplicate and learn the system to be successful. McDonald's doesn't allow everyone to buy a McDonald's. You have to commit to working it full time, willing, coachable, and hungry. If you don't follow their system, you lose your franchise. If you're not willing to work it as a job, you don't get to buy it. Doesn't matter if you can put $20 million down. You got to work it full time. You can't be a silent investor. They don't allow that. They're looking for the certain proprietor. They don't settle for investors. They're not looking for investors. They're looking for partners. They're looking for people that are willing. They're looking for people that are coachable, and they're looking for people that are hungry. And that is all you should be looking for, is willing, coachable, and hungry. And how will you know that? Well, we're going to talk about that. So as you're going out there to work, our job is to move you from dependent on us to independent from us as fast as possible. How fast do you want that to happen for you? How fast do you want that to happen for you? Because if you want that to happen fast, it's possible, and that's great. So what's the number? How fast you want it to happen? You can't chat here, but write down or show with your fingers how many months? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months? How many months? Just showing your video real quick. How long do you want to before you're independent? What do I see here? I got 3 months. Beautiful. What else? What else? Show me some other numbers. Okay, I can't see everyone. 6 months. Okay, great. So that's really easy to do if you duplicate yourself and duplicate others. How can you duplicate others if you don't know the process of duplication, right? So we're going to teach the system. You learn the system. When you learn the system, you teach the system. So your job, before we even start recruiting anyone, is understanding your role is you're a communicator of the system to anyone in your team that wants to duplicate and become independent. So that question of, we want to help you move from dependence on us to independent from us as soon as possible. How fast would you like that to happen? That's a great question you should ask everyone you recruit, because it sets up fabulous. To be independent, you must understand our system, just like you must understand the McDonald's system to run a successful McDonald's, and to train your managers how to run it. You got to get it. So we're going to teach you. It's not overwhelming. You're going to see it's very simple, and you're going to see it over and over and over and over again in DAC, even more laser focused than it's been, so that you can grow through this business. So part one is you need to act like you're a brand new agent again. You need to go everything a brand new agent needs to go through. You need to have it fresh in your mind. That means you need to go through the getting started right, and you need to go through the service star video. And understand breaking service star is a 30-day incentive for your first 30 days. And it's critical that your brand new agents qualify for it. So you need, by the way, go get qualified for it. Even if you've been in longer than 30 days, at least reach the qualification and say, I'm there. I just didn't do it in 30 days. Okay. But you can do it in 30 days. So you want to do it. So the first thing is you got to go through training number one. Second thing you got to do is get through the 30-day goal, which is service star. Now, let me ask you, how long do you need to watch those 2 videos? There's about 90 minutes of videos. Can you all commit to doing that in the next 24 hours? Even if you've already watched them, can you commit to watching them again in the next 24 hours? Shake your head. Yes, if you can. Yes, if you can. You know you can. If we're saying it's critical for the system, before you start recruiting, you need to watch those again in the next 24 hours. So if it's tonight, if it's tomorrow morning, we're talking about an hour and a half. If it's working, getting an hour less sleep tonight, just do it within 24 hours, and then go to the Facebook wall, and we're going to put a post up there. I watched training 1 and 2 in the last 24 hours, and you're just going to put a yes below it if you did it. All right. That's where we'll know who's at the training and who's really in this to win this and really duplicate quick. It's going to take some effort. We're not going to ask you to put in more than 20 hours a week, but we're going to ask every one of you who really wants to duplicate and become independent to put in 20 hours a week, 20 hours a week into your business. That's what we're asking for. We don't care when those 20 hours are. It's better to have compressed time. If you can put in more than 20, do it. But we're going to ask you to do things that if you only had 20 hours a week to do, you could do it. All right. So the first thing is watch those videos in the next 24 hours. Then you got to watch the Saturday training. The recruiting training and the Saturday training, I was just watching it. It's off the shelf quality. You want to watch that over and over. Now it's a 6-hour training. How long do you need to watch that 6-hour training again? Can you do it by Saturday night? If you haven't watched it yet, you got to do it in the first 72 hours. So if you're brand new, you want someone to do it in the first 72 hours. If you're already here and you've already watched it, you watch it again by Saturday because we want to get after, you're already ready to build. But if you haven't ever watched it, before you recruit another person, before you call another customer, watch that Saturday training. It's 6 hours long. Before you do anything else, put on my to-do list, training 1 and 2, and then training 3. I'm going to watch those within the next 72 hours. It's a lot of video watching. Netflix, none of that. We're going to get it done. All right. So what we're doing here, I'm not trying to sound like a drill sergeant. What I'm doing is equipping you with the foundation of our company, the getting started right videos, the first 30-day incentive video, and then the Saturday training video. That all sets up the game plan. Then if you've not already done a game plan with your upline leader, you need to do a game plan. Pretend you're starting over scratch. Do a game plan. If you don't have an upline leader, we did a game plan as a video. Watch that video then, but don't cap out of having a live game plan with your upline leader because it's easier to watch a video. There's nothing more impactful than having interaction with that leader and having that agreement conversation and building that relationship. So all of this is setting up how to recruit, but I've just gone through the how to get someone started right. So hopefully you caught that and took notes. Those are the steps you go through with someone after they say yes. Okay. So now you're going to go through the Saturday training. They've gone through the Saturday training. They've gone through training 1 and 2. Now, what's the first 30-day goal? See, we want you to go through all of this quickly because there's training number 2, as you're going to see, has got a 30-day goal. So our goal is you're going to go through that in the first 24 hours, training 1 and 2. And then we're going to help you qualify for that 30-day goal because what you get for Service Star is unbelievable. We do not want you to miss out on Service Star qualification. All right. You'll see why when you watch the video. So don't delay. You don't want to give yourself 26 days. You want 30 days. Watch both of those videos tonight. Within 24 hours, watch them. All right. Now, the reason we want to build a team, folks, the reason you're at this training is to move you. So if you look at the 4 things we do, we get customers. We recruit personal enrolled teams. So we get customers and we recruit. You can recruit 700 people. You can recruit 1,000 people personally. You can even have a team of 1,000 people. You're still just self-employed unless you duplicate and move to phase 3, which is duplicating some of those people. When you duplicate, so phase 1 is getting customers, which you got to do well. Number 2, recruiting, which you want to do well. But number 3, it doesn't matter how big your team is. If you don't duplicate people in that team, they're not producing any revenue. So duplication is the key. You need to become a master of duplication, not a master of recruiting, or not a master of customer getting. You want to be a pro at customer getting, and you want to be a pro at recruiting, and you want to be a master at duplication. That takes your check off the charts because every leader you have, every one leader you have is good for about $3,000 or $4,000 a month income for you. Every one person you duplicate is good for about $3,000 to $4,000 a month income to you. Why do we recruit? Because you need a team to duplicate, and everyone you duplicate is $3,000 to $4,000 for you. If you own rental properties, you don't make $3,000 to $4,000 a month per rental property, and you got to buy it, finance it, work on it, fix the furnace on it. I've got a beautiful home. Today, a furnace company was there fixing one of my furnaces. Why? It's not blowing heat. I don't know why. Fortunately, it's not a rental property that I'm losing money on. It happens to be my own home, but still things break down. Rental properties have a problem. $3,000 to $4,000 per leader. Why do we recruit? Because we're trying to move from dependent on David and DAC or my enroller to independent of David, DAC, and enroller. right? And that also means financial independence. So we need to learn the system so we can teach the system, because once you know the system and you're duplicated on what the system is, you can cookie cutter as many people as you want. Recruit 5, duplicate 1. Recruit 5 more, duplicate 1. Recruit 5 more, duplicate 1. How do you know who you're going to duplicate? They're willing, they're capable, they're coachable, and they're hungry. If you recruit 5 and they're not willing, coachable, and hungry, I'm going to tell you you're recruiting incorrectly. And I'm going to show you how to change that today, right here, right now, how to recruit right so that you attract the right people. McDonald's puts some disclaimers and says, if you're not willing to do this, this, and this, you can't join. So I'm going to share with you, we don't have those disclaimers, but I'm going to share with you how you can recruit the right type people who demonstrate they're willing, they're hungry, and they're coachable day one. They may not live that out. They may not stay that, but they'll at least start that way. Okay, so now we're going to move to duplication because we're recruiting a team so that we can find the right people and we can learn the recruiting process so we can teach the recruiting process to our team. So we're going to learn it and live it and teach it and duplicate it. That's all we're going to do. And you're going to see how easy this is. And this is recorded, so you can watch it over and over. You could literally tape what I'm saying right now and say this to every brand new recruit you bring in. And you can have them all watch this after the Saturday training. By the way, this is all in the Saturday training. That's the good news. It's all covered. But it all starts with recruiting. So number one, we are sorting through people. We are not selling people in. I don't want 100 new enrollers. I had 370 people join from an ad I recruited. I gave them all away. I'm not looking for 370 anybody's. Now, 10 of them may have been diamonds in the rough, but I could not invest time in those 370 people. Right? I just couldn't do it. So I was doing them a disservice. You want to recruit who you can recruit right. So you're going to sort versus sell. You're looking for the ripe apples who fit your profile. If you own a professional company and you're looking for a vice president of sales, you're going to look for things in that interview. You're going to look for attitude. You're going to look for empathy. You're going to look for integrity. You're going to look for drive. You're going to look for a maturity, right? You're going to look for some things. The great news about our business is as long as you have those things, as long as you exhibit those things, the system educates enough. I was at a training this past weekend and I saw people making $1 million a year. And you know what they're saying? The same stuff I was saying in 1992. And you know what's cool about that? I realized I had so much success and got out of General Motors, not because I was good, but because I was following a system. I was more coachable than everyone else. I paid attention more than everyone else. There were 3 of us who were coachable, and we all made 6 figures that year, our first year in the industry. And most people quit. They weren't coachable. They thought it was hard. It wasn't hard at all. Owning it, launching a company and creating a company is a lot harder than being an agent following a training and duplicating a training. Trust me, it's a lot easier and a lot more fun to do that. So with all that said, you're going to sort for the right type people. You're not going to sell them on DAC. You're going to share what you believe and find those who are attracted by what you believe, right? Share what you believe. Find those who believe what we believe. What do we believe? We believe we've got a company that's making a massive difference in the world. We're going to help fuel rock stars of capitalism business owners. We're going to help them get them capital. We're going to help them get savings. And we're looking for an army of motivated, passionate people that want to go help. They can be professional too. We're looking for an army of professional and passionate people who are hungry and want to get out and help the rock stars of capitalism business owners and be a rock star of capitalism along the way, duplicating thousands of people in their team, an agent, an army of productive agents. So you're looking for those who believe. So there's 2 conversations when you're approaching someone. One is you're looking for client getters, and your conversation is going to focus on that, and you're sorting for client getters. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm looking for people that want to help the rock stars of capitalism. You don't have to use those words. I do. We're looking for people that want to help these business owners. I mean, we think they're the rock stars of capitalism. They're on the front line, launching businesses, creating businesses, employing people, and they've got the hardest. 2 out of 3 don't even make it 10 years. We want to help them. We want to give them some support with funding, and we want to give them support with savings, We're willing to make a lot less than all of our competition because we're on a service mission rather than a sales mission. And in doing so, we can get paid a lot of money, a little bit less than everybody else, but over time we get a lot more customers equals a lot more income. We're looking for some customer getters who want to help these business owners with loans and savings. Does that sound like something you might be interested in? Yes, no, or maybe. Sort. I don't know. Don't sell them. Please don't sell them. You're wasting your time and you're going to be talking. There's nothing wrong with following up with someone who's got to make a decision, but you don't need to hit them with a sales technique. You don't. That's selling. You're going to bring in people that are not willing, coachable, and hungry. You're going to bring in egos, and you're going to bring in people that aren't coachable, want to do it their own way. That hurts duplication. Paul, if you're a Bible reader, Paul in Corinthians and Ephesians and just about every letter he wrote, that was the videotape of the day. There was no TV, so he had to write it in a letter. And he was trying to duplicate people. And he had to write his tool in a letter. And he'd tell people, you're following people that are false teachers. You're following people that are this and that. Everyone comes in, they got it their way. He's saying, no, I'm teaching you what Jesus taught. Don't worry about what Billy says, Jesus said, because Billy wants to be the deal. And he wants to do it his own way. And Billy wants you idolizing him instead of Jesus. And so you know what happened? And I don't want you to idolize David. I'm telling you, I want you to duplicate DAC, the DAC way. And a lot of our agents have helped contribute to what the DAC way is. So, and we're open to more ways if they're proven to work. So your job is to not have a bunch of people who are distractions. We don't want people, you know how many Facebook posts I delete of people that are teaching the wrong stuff? In our Facebook wall, they'll say something like, you should do this and this and this, delete. No, you shouldn't. That doesn't work. You may think it's going to work, but you're actually hurting the team. That's like someone saying, we should switch from all beef patties to half, corn filler and the rest beef so that we can save money on our patties. They may taste different, but we'll save a lot of money. And they teach that to everyone at McDonald's. McDonald's would fire them in a second. So we're recruiting to build a team to duplicate. So what are we really talking about right now? Duplication. Starting right. Sort people in. So that's conversation one is client getter. Same conversation, client getter and team leader is the exact same, except you add to it. And I'm really wanting to help this company grow nationwide. So I'm actually looking for leaders who want to go to the next level with me and actually help us lead and develop markets by offering this opportunity to others. Does that sound like something you might be interested in? That is the only conversation I'm really having, because I'm not looking for 20 client getters who I have to train as much as 20 client getters who also want to be team leaders, because it's the same amount of training, but one of them is going to multiply like an apple tree has a lot of apples on it with a lot of seeds in it, which become a lot of apple trees with a lot more apples with a lot more seeds, which become a lot more. And instead of, I'm going to get you apples once in a while. So client getters are great. There's nothing wrong with it. We offer it. They can go out and you can have some people do $200,000-300,000 in funding every month, and you can make great personal enroller commissions. But they won't hold a candle to someone who wants to duplicate team building, because they'll be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10 million in bonus volume every single month and funding. So what do you want? Do you want someone who can do a couple $100,000 in funding? Of course you do. But if that same person, just because of how you conversationed with them, I know it's not proper grammar, how you spoke to them up front, they're going to go out and build a team. So those are the two conversations. You need to find the one you believe. See, share what you believe about DAC. We can go back and say what I said. That's what I believe, but you got to believe it, right? So 5-step recruiting process. Here it is. And this is in the video, the Saturday training video. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You pretty much know it. You make a list and you're always adding to that list. You approach and pique interest, and then you sort. So you approach, pique their interest with what you share, and you sort for who's interested and who's not. You are not a one bad apple spoils a bunch, right? You're not looking to talk someone in, believe me. Step 3 is you get them in front of a presentation after that. You want to fix your favorite presentation. I'm going to show a minute here what some of those are. Step 4 is get them started right, basically what you just saw. And step 5 is training and game plan. All right, so let's go through these. Step 1, your list. It's warm market. You want to start with warm market. Hang on 1 minute. Some people are off mute. 1 second. My mouse isn't showing up, so I'll just keep going. If you can see anyone off mute, Sharon, if you could just mute them. Warm market is your list. That's people you know or people who know you. Okay. And you're always adding to that. If you come across someone who's sharp, say, hey, you're sharp. The number one recruiter I've ever, or number one producer I've ever had as far as building a team served me a meal. He was 19 years old at the time. And he's gone on, he's probably made $20 million in this industry since. And actually, he's made a lot more than that. He's probably at 80 or 90 million now. But he was 19 serving at a table. But you know what? He looked at us right. He was a good looking young man. He was aggressive, not aggressive. He was assertive. He wanted to make sure we were good. He was beyond his years in engagement. And so we told him that. We said, you know, you're behind your years. How old are you? You're 19. What are you doing? I'm going to junior college. I wanted to play pro baseball. I'm not going to make it. And hey, great. Listen, we're out here for business, actually. We're actually in your town right now for business because we're having a training seminar next week. Our training is to teach people how to run our business. Why? We're trying to duplicate some leaders out here who help us lead and develop this city. You're sharp. You could do well at what we do. Are you open to making money outside of what you're doing? Yeah, I'm serving tables. I'm hoping to make tips. Great. You're an entrepreneur right now. You live on tips. You're already doing a darn good job. You would eat our business up. Let us get your card and let's talk. That's a conversation. That's a real conversation because I believe it. I believe it. So can you have that conversation? You got to make a decision. You can put both feet in the door, shut the door behind you. You are now a recruiting machine. You're a duplicating machine. It doesn't matter if you're 90 and all the 20-year-olds won't respect me. It doesn't matter if you're 20, all the 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds won't think I'm serious. You don't get to use any of those excuses. So your list, you're always going to grow. You don't prejudge. Those you think will, may not. Those you think won't, maybe your biggest producers, maybe your biggest team builders. Sometimes they match up, sometimes they don't. Experts sort, amateurs sell. Don't be a seller, be a sorter. Step 2, approach, peak, and sort. You want to ask them a sorting question. Have you ever heard of DAC? It's a good question. Or what do you do now? Great. Something, just ask some questions. Then you do a short explanation of what we believe. Hey, great. Listen, have you ever heard of DAC? No, I got to tell you about this. I'm just watching you. I'm talking as if this is cold market, someone you don't know. I'm watching you. You're sharp, and I'm actually in business for myself. And my job is to help duplicate people in their own business, much like a franchise. So we're always looking for sharp leadership type people who maybe want to grow their income. What we do, share what I believe. What we do, we help business owners all over North America get loans who can't get approved at a bank, and we help them save money on services they're already using. We think they're the rock stars of capitalism, bottom line. And I mean, think about it. They start businesses, grow businesses, walk away from jobs, employ people, all hoping to drive revenue and make a profit. And you know what? We want to help them. We want to help them with capital. We want to help them with saving. So anyway, you're sharp, and we're looking to build a team of people who can help serve those clients. If that's something you may want to do, we're looking for people who want to help us serve clients. You interested in something like that potentially? I don't know if I can do that. Great, done. I don't know if I could do that. Are they showing they're hungry? Are they showing they're willing? Or are they showing they don't know? So it's not a no yet, but it's certainly not a yes. Okay, they didn't resonate with what you believe. They're maybe thinking about it, but those who resonate with what you believe, you'll know it. They'll go, dude, really? You can get business owners loans? Wow, that's cool. Or they'll say something like that. So, well, maybe. Okay, well, I tell you what, I'd love to get you some more information because we're actually looking for leaders too. We want people to help serve clients, but we're looking for people to help lead teams as well. Because we want to expand nationwide. And in order to do that, just like McDonald's, we got to duplicate some people who understand our process and our system and build a team of others and help us open new markets. Great money involved, and there's no financial risk. So you think about it. Here's my card. If you ever want to talk, I'll get you some information. Gone. I did talk about the leader conversation. I did talk about the customer conversation, right? But I'm not talking them into anything else. Now, if they say, yeah, I said, great, oh, great. Would it be okay if I send you a presentation? I don't offer it to the people who aren't sure. So if you want to learn more, you let me know. Here's my card. It's different when you pull something away. When you pull something away, it's a lot more apt. They're a lot more apt to want to know more than when you try to, here, wait. You ever try to put a worm in a bluegill's mouth? They won't take it. Move that worm away a little bit, right? All right. So then you have a short invitation to your first presentation, which is step 3. And that could be a video. It could be the replicated site video. It could be a third-party expert call. It could be live presentation with your upline. The training online shows a lot more. Watch that. It could be a company weekly presentation we're doing at 9 o'clock tonight. It can be your leader's presentation. It can be a one-on-one or two-on-one presentation where you sit down and go through the slides with them, or you put them with your expert. You and your expert sit down and go through the slides, or you do your own Zoom with them, and you can get a free Zoom room. You can do the same. We've got a bigger Zoom room. We pay for it. But if you're only going to have 1 or 2 people at a time, you can get a free room. So get one. Eventually, it may cost $9 a month or something like that. But hey, if you can't sit down and do live meetings with them right now, you know, it's great to do Zoom. I can tell you this. We've got a $3,000 a month training center right here that has never been used for a training except what we're doing right here. Half these Zooms I could do for my home. When do I need to jump on a whiteboard? I've got an 8-foot whiteboard in my basement office that I've never put on the screen because I've got this one here because I'm paying for this office. I got to use it. You can't open an office right now because most states are shut down for group gatherings, but this group gathering can happen. So one-on-one or two-on-one presentation with your team. Step 4, getting started right. I already went through it all. The 4 steps of getting started after the video you want them to watch. And then after that's after the presentation ends. Then you want to make sure they read their welcome letter, and you want to make sure you introduce them to your upline expert. Always, when someone gets started, introduce them to your upline expert. Always introduce them to your upline expert. If you don't have an upline, meet a sideline and do that with each other. Team up with someone who is not in your team. Maybe it's someone in your down team, someone in your organization you put them on the phone with. You just want to put them on the phone with someone else. And if they're a superstar, I want to talk to them too. Training and game plan. That's step 5, as we talked about. You want to have the discussion of moving them from dependence to independence, everything I started this training with. Getting started right video, service star video, Saturday training video, and game plan. So let me give an example of how you say that. Let me get your pictures off the screen. So my goal, you already heard all this. You already heard me say all this at the beginning of this training. My goal is to help you to become independent from me as soon as possible. So tell me, how long would you like that to take? They're going to give you an answer. It's not going to be, as Eric told us, it's not going to be 6 years or 5 years. If they say 4 years, you don't want a dependent rep for 4 years. 12 months, if they're any longer than 12 months, they say, listen, you must not understand. We've got a process that'll help you. We can get you duplicated a lot faster than that as long as you're willing, coachable, and hungry. Are you willing, coachable, and hungry? Yeah. Okay, great. You'll be duplicated in 6-9 months. Trust me, at the longest. Fantastic. So the key is learning our duplication system, much like a franchise, and there's proven steps here that we all learn and we all teach. So obviously we bring out our own personality in our training, et cetera, but the repeatable proven steps are what helps your business to attract new teammates and duplicate fast. And that's our goal, is to help you duplicate. So step 1 is getting you beyond the basic training then. All right. And you can be saying this over the phone. And then the next thing is we want to help you qualify for the first 30-day goal. It's called Service Star. It's imperative that you get that. That incentive is so important that you qualify for. Again, you have 30 days to qualify for that. So to get beyond the basic training, there are 3 videos. All right. It's training number 1, training number 2, and training number 3. We want you to watch them all before you start building a team or talking to clients. All right. In your welcome letter, there was a link to your replicated websites and your resource center. Okay. Now in that resource center is the videos that you need to watch. All right. There's 4 videos, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want to watch 1 and 2, like immediately, like right within the next 24 hours. You'll have all the getting started right video watch. The 30-day incentive Service Star. You'll be able to watch that right away and you'll understand it. I can answer any questions afterward if you don't get it. Then you want to watch video 3. It's about 6 hours long. That goes into all of our business information from the basics. Once you've done that, you're beyond the basic training. You've got it. You've got the basics. Now we're going to answer questions and go from there. But do you think you can do video 1 and 2 which will take you about 90 minutes in the next 24 hours? You can do that, right? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. They're going to be pumped up. Of course they can do that. Unless they got a wedding or they got something coming on, a volleyball tournament, or I don't know if I can watch it. I don't know. I'll try. Okay, if there's a legitimate reason, great. But get a deadline then. If you can't do it in 24 hours, when do you think you can? Okay, good. Will you call me once you've watched both of them? And we'll go through any questions you have. And then set up that time. If they don't call you, you've just given them an assignment. If they don't live out that assignment, have they already demonstrated they're either not willing, not coachable, or not hungry? Now, if they call you and go, dude, I know I said I'd do it within 24 hours, And, I didn't realize my daughter got sick and I had to pick them. So I'm not going to be able to get it done today. Tell them that. If you can't get it done in 24 hours, let me know though. So you're going to get it done in 24 hours. Great. Then you want to go through the 6-hour training. Do you think you can do that in the next 72 hours? So that's 7.5 hours of training the next 4 days. Do you think you can do that? Okay, great. So let's do 1 and 2. Call me, we'll talk. And then we'll make sure you start getting through the Saturday training, and then we'll talk when that one's done. Then we want to get you into the game plan. That's when it all starts. You'll be on the basic training then. You've already ingested that. Then we can get into the game plan where we can start talking about your private goals. If you do not do what I just did, we put it in a script form for you. I've said it 100 times, but we've added a couple tweaks to this, but it's the same content to fill the game plan. If you don't do this with new agents, you can expect you've not started them right, and you can expect that they're not going to move from dependent to independent any soon, and you can expect they don't see the value in training. The reason you want to watch training now is why? Because you need to know our duplication process. Why do you need to know our duplication process? Because until you know the duplication process, you can't duplicate others. If you can't duplicate others, the business never grows away from you. If the business never grows away from you, you're always self-employed. Now, here's the critical thing, guys, why I'm so excited is when you live out the duplication process, it never fails unless you simply don't put new recruits into the funnel to run through this. Not everyone will make the run, but some will. If you can have the courage to do everything you just saw here, I want, my son, Addison, some of you know Addison. We're going to go into questions in a minute. Some of you know my son, Addison. Addison, you may not know this because if you know him, he's so outgoing now. He's literally like Elf, like Will Ferrell on Elf. He is so energetic. He's so bound everywhere we go. He meets someone. I just sit back and I'm the quiet one. And he's not he's not obnoxious. He's just so lovable that everybody he's so, I don't know what it is. I wish I had what he has, but everybody loves this young man, right? Well, when he was in high school, he's 28 now. When he was in middle school and high school, he was so shy. He wouldn't talk to, I didn't know if he'd ever have a girlfriend. I'm like, I think he's afraid. He wouldn't go to a party. He wouldn't do anything social. I mean, it's not that he wouldn't, he had friends and stuff, but I just was, I remember saying to my mom, I'm just kind of a little worried. Here I'm an entrepreneur out there. I'm willing to break through any walls. And I just don't know if he's, willing to be, he was bigger than everyone on the basketball team, but wouldn't use his size against anyone's disadvantage. It's like he wanted to be polite. He was just polite. And I was worried. I was concerned. And one day he invited us. He said he was going to try out for a play. He wanted to be in a play. I'm like, okay. And then he said he was in a play and he was going to play Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. I'm like, okay. I didn't remember. I'm like, okay, it's a high school play. That's great. I didn't know Gaston was like a lead role. I didn't know Gaston had to sing. I didn't know Gaston had a bunch of leading parts and had to act like a big guy and have girls hanging from his leg and, oh, Gaston. I didn't know anything about it. So we go to the play and all of a sudden there's Addison. My mouth was open the whole time. Like, who is that kid up on stage? Who is that kid? I've never seen any of that. He's saying like, I didn't even know he could sing. He was good. I mean, everyone was like, he was the star of the show. Truly. I'm a bias, but really, I was like, holy crap. This is unbelievable to me. He wasn't being himself. He was playing a role. Right? Do you know who Sasha Fierce is? Sasha Fierce, one of the best singers of all times. But Sasha Fierce is a stage name? No. Sasha Fierce is in someone's imagination, who's now one of the top selling artists of all times, named Beyonce Knowles. You've heard of Beyonce. Does Beyonce get up there like she's got any worry about being on stage? No. But you know what? When she started, she was a gospel singer at a church. She wasn't going to go sing pop songs. She wasn't going to get up on stage and say, look at me, I'm singing and wear tight clothes. She wasn't going to go out there with attitude and be the queen. No, she was humble and serving God, and I'm going to sing, but I don't want the focus on me. I want the focus on God. I want to sing for God. And so her dad was trying to get her into pop singing and said, honey, you are gifted. You can do so much more. She had to start as a trio first. You know, she was in Destiny's Child, right? She couldn't do it on her own. And she had to play a persona called Sasha Fierce. She had to go up there and say, I'm not me. I'm Sasha Fierce. I'm going to get out here with attitude. I'm going to be special. Now she's totally good with being Beyonce. One word name, right? She's totally good with the image and the impression. But when she first started, she was scared to death. Addison, when he first started coming out of his shell, he had to play a part called Gaston and sing and do everything crazy. Now he's beyond it. Now he doesn't have to play a part. Now he doesn't have to pretend. So when you hear fake it till you make it, that doesn't mean lie and say, yeah, I'm making 22 grand a month when you haven't gotten a client and don't have a team. That's lying BS. That's ridiculous. That hurts our company. It hurts you permanently. They'll never forgive you for that. They'll never forgive you and never trust. You'll have success and they won't believe it. And if they will, they certainly won't help you because you got there, the wrong way. You got there using fraud. You got there being a liar. You got there. Just go out there. It's okay if you're making nothing to say, I'm just getting started. I don't have any clients yet, but I believe in what we're doing. And I know it's only a matter of time before I plant that seed in the right soil and that right business owner who's got a right opportunity is going to come to us for funding. Just be okay with it. Just be okay with it. And if that stops someone from moving forward, guess what? They weren't willing, they weren't coachable, and they weren't hungry. They were skeptical, they were concerned. So don't worry about, you don't want them on the team. It's not that you don't want them, but they're not going to be a good asset to the team. Go make some money and then let them know, yeah, it's happening for me now. I put in the 8 months, 9 months, 12 months, 22 months. I put in the time. I got a team growing. It's happening. And then watch how many come. But the point is, if you aren't willing to say everything you just saw, all this, because it's not you, and who are you to talk this way with people? Think of Sasha Fierce and think of Gaston. And realize it's okay to read all this and read all this and read all this. And I'm not a big script guy. It's okay to read your lines until they become your words. It's okay to say it over and over and over again. I remember when I got out of my first, when I got out of General Motors, I took a cassette tape, one of those little mini ones, into the presentation. I recorded the guy. I converted it to a cassette tape that could go into my car, and I played it over and over and over and over again until I could say it. I was only in the business 2 weeks when I did my first presentation, and I didn't make up one word. I did because I'd stumble and miss and have to get back on track. But the reality was it wasn't my conversation, but boy, was I ready to own it because I was being Tony when I was up there, or I was being Bill when I was up there, the leaders of the company. I was going to be them when I was up there. I was confident in their words. So I just had to get through it. And I had done some public speaking, but I still had a pit in my stomach. I still was afraid. So don't be surprised if this doesn't seem natural yet. But here's the key. You have to move. The recruiting process is more up here. The process is between here and here, you believing, you making a decision, you walking through the door, and you're not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're not, I might build a team, I might not. You're not going to have any success. You got to say, I believe in David's system. I believe in the DAC way. I believe in the leaders. I believe he's got our best interest. I believe our funding is the best interest for clients. I believe the payment processing is the best interest for clients. I believe they really do want to care about business owners. I really do believe. I mean, look at this. Their money where their mouth is. They're giving these businesses away. They're giving the websites away. They're even arguing to get the renewals taken away. I mean, look at this. They're doing everything to give us what we need. They're giving us free training. And even if they promote a training, it's a training that they don't get the money from, because they think it's that valuable. I think they really got our backs. I really believe, his mom's in this company, his daughter's in this company, his son's in this company. Then I look at the senior funding officer, his brother's in the company, his daughter's in the company, and we're going to continue to expand. Then I look at the leader here, their family's in it, their families. This is a family-based army of we're going to kick some whoop butt out there in the industry, and we've got to bring the biggest army of business capital rock stars to the marketplace. And that includes healthcare. That includes payment processing. Please, I'm summarizing. But it all starts between here and here, you reading the lines and stating the lines. And if someone says, why would I go through that in 24 hours? What? Listen, don't be insulted. Be pleased that they just let you know they're not willing, coachable, and hungry You put them you tell them about our trainings, you tell them to come check them out, and you check them off the list as someone that you have to invest some time in. You can share things with them. You can email them something, but you don't have to sit down and do a game plan with that person. Once they're through the training, so you've given them the assignment. If they don't answer the assignment, they've told you who they are. Actions speak louder than words, right? And guess what? Yours too. Your upline's looking at what you've done. Your upline's looking at you. When you ask questions, they go, that's in the Getting Started Right video. Have you watched that? No? Well, you just got to knock against whether you're hungry and coachable or not. You're showing you're not coachable. Now, I'm going to give everyone a pass because maybe you didn't hear it this way before. So if you didn't watch training 1 and you didn't watch training 2 and you didn't watch all the Super Saturday, I'm not going to say shame on you unless you can still say the same thing Friday. Then shame on you. Then you don't want it. You don't want it if you don't watch it by Friday. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. So do you want it? Are you really hungry? Do you really want to make change? Are you really trying to take your life to a different level? Then you've got what you need in this business. We've got 5 minutes of questions, and then we got the BizOp meeting that we'll probably just keep this thing going and go right into that and then chop it up later. So my mouse is not working. So Sharon, you're going to have to help. Oh, there we go. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Okay, if you got a question, Chuck Ellison's got a question. Chuck, go ahead and unmute yourself, ask your question, and we'll move on to the next one quick. Go ahead, Chuck. What do you got, buddy?
David, did you get my email about Ivan Mesner?
I did. You sent it to support. They forwarded it to me. Yes, I got it.
Good enough. Good enough.
Yep. Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for sending it, buddy. Any other questions from anybody? Any questions about what you just heard? Is there anyone in here? Give a thumbs up if this is going to be helpful information for you. A little checkup from the neck up and understanding the process. You may have to watch it again, but put your thumb up in the emotions button down there if this is going to help you. PK's got a question. While she's doing that, thank you, Blue. Put your thumb up. If you don't put your thumb up, then what I'm saying is you're not coachable because this is the system. Maybe you don't know how to put your thumb up, but do a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up if you're into it. I'm not talking about on a screen like this. I mean, there's an icon you can hit that says thumbs up that everyone else can see it too. If you don't know how to find it, then yeah, do this, do thumbs up. But with that, Patricia, you are unmuted. You got a question?
No, I just wanted to say this is perfect timing. I've got 2 accountants that are going to meet in my home office at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And so this is just perfect of what I'm going to go over with them. I'll be honest with you. I did not watch the full 6 hours of the Saturday training. I probably have 2 hours left on it. I tell you what, I'll finish it tonight. And I want to be ready for these 2 accountants that I meet tomorrow. So thank you so much. And I didn't know did you say you worked for General Motors?
I did.
Is that?
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
I worked for General Motors out of college.
All right. I got an opportunity to meet Ed Whitaker, who helped General Motors during a crisis. And he lives here in San Antonio, Texas. Really great speaker. Yeah, really great speaker. So just want to say thank you. This is perfect timing.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I'd like to see all the thumbs up. Thank you, PK. Appreciate it. Get that training watched. Let us know when you got it done. Go on our Facebook wall and say, I watched it. And that'll help make others feel like, man, PK is stepping up and doing it. I got to step up and do it. We got another question or comment from anybody? No questions. Okay, listen, then what we're going to do, thanks for all the thumbs up. Get out there and do this. If you got on late, man, you need to go back to the beginning because the beginning is the setup for what matters. It's what matters most. So watch all of this. It's on YouTube. It'll be there tonight. You can get there. It's streaming live there right now. We're going to end this now, 9 minutes from now. Take this opportunity right now to have that conversation with someone you haven't had it with and invite them to the 9 o'clock presentation. You got 9 minutes to talk to them, let them know and say, hey, it happens to be the founder of the company happens to be doing a live webinar in 9 minutes. and invite them out to DAC Zoom. Let's see who can do it. If you do it, send me a text after and say I got it done. Even if they don't